placing his hands at the base of the hill and working his way under the heavy mound. He lifted it with the valor of a hero's thrill, while under its shelter came souls from all around. The deluge of water lasted for 7 long days. Amazed and saved.
It was open, Maharaj. Yeah.
21:18. Govardhan.
It was open, Maharaj. Yeah.
21:18. Govardhan. Thank you very much. Yeah, how can we do this one? I was just trying to bring something to, but that's not enough for it. Let's see.
No, Maharaj, the second, another.
Pardon me?
Another.
Yeah, do you have it?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of. That's the one I was thinking about. Hanta yama adrir balahari dasparo varyo. Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramoda. Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramoda. Manang Tanuti Sahalku Kanayustaruyat. It's not perfect, but we're trying. Paniyang Suvas Suyavasa Kandara Kadambulai. Abala Haridas Yavaro.
Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparsha Pramoda. Yad
Rama Krishna Charana.
Manam tanoti sahago ganayastayuryat.
Manam tanoti sahago ganayastayuryat.
Okay, it's probably the Brahma Samhita approaching.
Pani Yasuya Vasakandara Kandamule. Pani Yasuya Vasakandara Kandamule.
Andaya madre rabala haridas video.
Andaya
madre rabala haridas video.
Nandaya Madriya Abala Haridas Yavaryo. Yad Rama Krishna Charana Parasa Pramodaha. Manang Tanoti Sahago Kanyustaroriyat. Paniya Suvasvasa Kandara Kandamulaya. So, okay, that would probably have been better. Let's move along, shall we? Hare Krishna. Hanta. Oh. Ayam. This. Adrihi. Hill. Abala. O friends. Haridasa Variha. The best among the servants of the Lord. Yet, because Rama Krishna Charana of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and Balaram. Sparasha, by the touch. Pramodaha, jubilant. Manam, respect. Tanoti, offers. Saha, with. Go Ganayaho, the cows, calves, and cowherd boys. Tayoho, to them Sri Krishna and Balaram. Yet, because. Paniya, with drinking water. Suyavasa, very soft grass. Kandara, caves. Kandamulahai, and edible roots. Translation. Let's do this all together. Of all the devotees, Sri Govardhan Hill is the best. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balaram along with their calves, cows, and cowherd friends, with all kinds of necessities, water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruits, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna, Balaram, Govardhan Hill appears very jubilant. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. No sneaking. This translation is quoted from Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, 1834. Hare Krishna. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the opulence of Govardhan as follows. Paniya refers to the fragrant, cool water from the Govardhan waterfalls. Okay, here's one. Which Krishna and drink, and used to wash their feet and mouths. Govardhan also offers other beverages, such as honey, mango juice, and pilu juice. Suyavasa indicates dhruva grass, used to make the religious offering of arghya. Govardhan also has grass that is fragrant, soft, and conducive to the strong growth of cows and increased production of thus this grass is used for feeding the transcendental herds. Kundara refers to the caves where Krishna, Balaram, and their friends play, sit, and lie down. These caves give pleasure when the weather is too hot or too cold. Yes. Or when it is raining. Govardhan also features soft roots for eating, jewels for ornamenting the body, flat places for sitting, and lamps and mirrors in the form of smooth stones, glistening water, and other natural substances. Wow, this is amazing, isn't it? Okay. Namo Om Vishwabhadaya Krishna Bhakti Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vicharini Vishisha Sanyavari Pasachari Shantarini. Jai. So I was in Vrindavan a few years back and with a devotee couple from Toronto here. And we also had an actor devotee from Los Angeles. And maybe one or two more people. And it was Akadashi, or I don't know, full moon or something, I can't remember. Said, let us go to Govardhan Hill and walk around the hill at nighttime. No one will be there. Guess what? Everybody was there. It was such a packed house. We just wanted to get away from the crowds, and we didn't succeed. Govardhan Hill is a very sacred place, and one of my good friends from France, he's a filmmaker. He did a documentary on Govardhan Hill called God's Mountain, something like that. Well, it's not exactly a mountain. It's not very high. In fact, if you go to some of the sort of rock formations, and when we went to Nunavut, I was thinking a little bit about Govardhan, although in Nunavut it's kind of smoothed out, but in Govardhan it's still quite rugged rock, Now, you circumambulate it. It takes about 5 hours to walk it. And generally people do start in the morning. It is kind of cold on the feet, even for Canadians. But you gradually, say you transition with your feet in terms of the temperature gets hot after sometimes. But people from all over the world come there, and there's some extraordinary sacrifices that people do. The first time I went around Govardhan Hill, I was just I was a young brahmachari. I just couldn't fathom how full of bhakti people are. It's so well demonstrated in Govardhan Hill. And like say a husband and wife team, will go at it, and they'll do something like this. He offers obeisances 108 times, and each time that he goes down, she touches his feet, and then wherever his feet were, a rock is put now to the front, and then they kind of keep going that way. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
bit leapfrog, you've seen it before. And this takes several weeks to get completed. So people do a lot of push-ups. So there's a lot of good workout, and of course also it's a work-in. It's both together. If you can do that, that'd be wonderful. If you can combine physical achievement and also gain something spiritually, then you're doing really good. You're doing really good. What a great marriage it is, honestly. So people are quite crazy about going there, and there's a few stops that are significant. Of course, there's Shamakund and Radhakund are there, where people may take a bath or at least take the water and sprinkle upon themselves. Be mindful. My purport right now is like a lot of Prabhupada's purports. There's all this glorious stuff going on, but beware, beware of, just like he'll talk about unscrupulous, he used that word, unscrupulous commentators. So we're not talking about unscrupulous commentators here. We're talking about people who are there to take advantage of you. You're rupees. I can do this for you. I can do that for you. And if you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita very, let's say, diligently and with detail, you will appreciate that there are a lot of sadhus there that are like mityachara. Mityachara, mitya means false, and achara means teacher. And they will take advantage. They've cut the profile of being like a sadhu, but indeed there's lots of stuff going on, in the background, lots of stuff. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj did talk about the cheaters and the cheated. How so? I'll just give you an example. Some men who are sadhus, they take advantage of their saffron, and there are some ladies, I'm talking about Vrindavan and Govardhan Hill, and some ladies would love to have a baby by a sadhu, right? So there's all this kind of like cheating going on, and it's not very wholesome. I do not need to explain anymore. Haribol. Okay. I would say this, and I hope it really penetrates for those who may get a chance to go to this wonderful location, a place of pilgrimage. Do be aware of some of the sadhus there. Just take shelter of ISKCON leadership, and then you'll be okay. Otherwise, you have what's called sahajas. You have, what's the term that's used there in Guyana? We say pundit, if you're an actual genuine, saintly person. But in Guyana, they say bandit. Pundit, bandit. Okay, so just have to be careful. Just always on these ventures, go with the right kind of people, go with good association. And it's probably a good idea not to go alone, okay? That's all it is. Now, what about Govardhan Hill? Okay, I'm going to tell you some interesting stories. The last time I went there, be equipped. There are monkeys there, okay? Your bead bag might get stolen. Your telephone, like it's stolen. Don't have it up in the air. They're going to take it from you, and they'll try to ransom, okay? Oh, man, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so you have to be aware of the thieves. There are some merchants there that have a truckload of bananas, and they'll tell the pilgrims, monkey seva, monkey seva. So you give some rupees, and the guy is, he appreciates that's his living for his family, so he sells bananas, right? And I don't think you grow bananas there in Vrindavan. It's a little too, just too cold up there. The bananas come from a little further south, from what I recall. Mayapur is a little, temperature is a little bit better. Okay, so beware of thieves, I don't want to get you all, worried now, and change your mind about going there. The last time I was there was a fellow, he had a motorcycle, and it was parked sort of very close to the base of the hill. And he wasn't there, he was not present there. So a bunch of monkeys got in there. They started tearing that thing apart, because that had like a seat made of the cushion, like they started pulling the vinyl off and just tearing it apart like anything. I felt so, I was, where did the guy go? Did he abandon his vehicle? Okay, those are some interesting things that happened. Let's get back to the real story, okay? It's a sacred place. And some of the descriptions given here of the hill are quite astounding, valuable stones and gems are there. And waterfalls. You don't have waterfalls there anymore. In fact, every day there's some, like Govardhan Hill is supposed to be reduced in size by the size of a mustard seed. There's curses. It's Kali Yuga, so you can expect things are not up to the mark as to what it used to be, Beautiful grasses. There are still cows that go there. You're not required. You should not be stepping on the hill. It will be a great offense. And if you do, people go, yeah. There'll be all this stuff, and you'll never hear the end of it,
So you can't step on
Yeah.
but then how do you circumambulate it?
You walk around it.
Oh, no, okay.
Just like if I circumambulate
Oh,
you,
very good.
it doesn't mean I step on you.
Got
Okay, right? Now this, you could ask one of the girls to give you a massage by stepping on your back or something, but generally you just walk around. From the aerial point of view, the shape of the hill is like that of a peacock. It's like that of a peacock, yeah. And it's actually quite narrow on one end, and it goes wider on the other side. It's more like a ridge as opposed to a hill. You know what a ridge is? Ridge? You don't know? Look it up. Anyways, Krishna was shining through with this Lila, this particular pastime. He had a little chat with his dad. And generally, in Vrindavan, people worship, the Brijvasis, they worship Vishnu. But they've also been known to worship the goddess. And that's also in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam. They've been known that some of the men went to a nearby place to worship the goddess, I think it was Amba, or Uma. Yeah, Uma. And then while in the process, a big, like a python or anaconda came and was swallowing Nanda Maharaj. And but Krishna came to save the day, as he usually does. And but they did go to worship the goddess, and in this case they're worshiping Indra. Now we know it's very clear. Krishna made it very clear in the Bhagavad Gita. Much later on, when he's sort of an advanced, or let's say mature person, he's talking to Arjuna that worship of the devatas is not very intelligent, because whatever they offer is of temporary value, right? If you're given a gift and it has real value, it means it has long-lasting sentimental value, and that's just not. So, okay, here we go. There you go. Haribol.
Where is the peacock shape?
Well, you'd have to fly further up here to see it. I don't think this shows it that well. Okay, but trust me.
And
okay? Trust me. And Krishna had a discussion with his dad, and he said he was saying, he was trying to desist him from the worship of the Indra, of the god Indra. And because it was a tradition, you know? And this is where sometimes young people, they ask, why do I have to do this and why do I have to do that, you know, when it comes to the temple or worship of gods. And sometimes parents are not well equipped to answer, you know. So then it doesn't become very fulfilling. If you can get your questions answered, that would be great. But here's Krishna's argument, you know. And there's some, you can read in detail, the Karma Mimamsa philosophy is described there in the dialogue. Krishna is just saying doesn't make much sense. Indra's not doing a very good job. He's pouring water on the rivers and on the lakes and the oceans, and you know, and they don't need water. So he's not doing a very good job. If you want to distribute your mercy, you know, put the water where, like the desert or places where it gets a chance to go. That was one of his arguments. And then Krishna said, why don't we, and it's a very bold thing, gutsy. Krishna's very gutsy as a little kid. And he's 7 years old this time. Very gutsy, and he's saying to his father, Dad, I think we should just, whatever puja paraphernalia is there, whatever food has been prepared for this festival to Indra, I think we should shift it over to the hill. Okay. Now, in our tradition, we worship stones and we worship hills and Mother Earth even, right? It's an interesting religion. People come here sometimes, they say, they're worshiping a plant, you know? And so we worship plants, we worship the land, we worship water, the Ganga, right? We worship wood in the form of Jagannath. We've got everything covered, you know? And this is a great assault onto the people who especially come from the Mid-East. They are determined, all three of the biggies. The Jewish community, the Muslim community, and the Christian community. There's one God, you know, and one should not worship strange gods before thee. You ever heard that before? They make a big deal about it. It's one of the 10 commandments. Don't worship these idols. There's a golden calf. And if there was a golden calf here, you know, like an image of a golden calf, immediately devotees would offer their obeisances here. We would do that. Calf is sacred according to our Shastra. And a golden calf, wow, shush. You know, but that didn't work in the time of Moses. I guess it's up for discussion. Let's say people were not ready for such worship, so God was, you know, discouraging them from that. But what if you are devotionally ready? Also, the term that's sometimes given, one should not have strange gods before or idols. Well, what if God is not strange? What if Krishna is familiar to you and your many, many ancestors, right? That word strange is sometimes used. Well, it's strange if you're not accustomed to it. But if you are accustomed to it, you know, so here we are, worshiping a hill, for God's sakes, you know. And because our approach to life in terms of the absolute truth is very inclusive. It's very inclusive. Krishna says, I'm the taste of water. I'm the light of the sun and the moon. He says, identifies with so many things. Fragrance of the earth. I am this, I'm that. Like he also doesn't. He's got a perfect life insurance policy here, you know, that he's everywhere. And we are supposed to see that kind of sacredness. Yeah. In fact, just the other day, it was Sunday, and one interviewer came. He was really, first of all, he wasn't, when he got there, he said, oh, you're not from Holland. Oh, this is a story, it's called On the Pipe. There's on the pipe means somebody sits on a pipe and it's supposed to be about a local person. I was not a local person. But I said, my parents are from here, and I walked here, and, so anyways, he did do the article, and one of the questions he asked you, what did you get out of this walk across the Netherlands, or in general, what do you get out of the marathons that you're doing? And I said, well, we are to understand sacredness is everywhere. God is not just in what they say, the kerk. Kerk means the church. God is not just in the church. He's not just in the temple or synagogue, but he's in you, and he's in me, and he's in the floor and the sky. So the idea is that from walking and going everywhere, you try to see the divinity behind everything. So he accepted that. He went really deep. He was great. We had lots of, interviews for my short time there, 8 days walking. And the news coverage was just phenomenal. It was great. So anyways, Krishna, he's telling his dad, let's shift it over. And he, because Nanda Maharaj was the Maharaj, the king of the Vaishyas at that time. He was looked up to by all the local villagers. Okay, Nanda said we should do it. Okay, then we'll do it. And then when Nanda, he said, well, my son says we should do it, so we should do it. They all accepted that Krishna's really empowered. He did so many extraordinary miracles already at this point. Now he's doing another one. He's going to show that he's the ultimate weight lifter. And, Atlas, according to the Greek philosophers, he's holding up the earth, with strain. But Krishna, with a little pinky, the pinky of the left hand, he gets in there, under there, and just, okay. And he held it there. So when weightlifters do their thing, they hold it up maybe a minute, and then they have to come back down. What is it like here? But for Krishna, let's describe it's like a child plucks a mushroom and holds it up like an umbrella. And that's what the Govardhan Hill actually did for the inhabitants of Vrindavan, for the Brijbasis, acted like an umbrella and protected everyone from rain that came down like pillars. Sometimes rain comes down hard. Sometimes it comes like hail, like ice balls. One of my cousins that walked with me in the Netherlands, he's a grower. He has lots of, he was the guy that brought, like yellow, not orange, a blue tomatoes in addition to red to the world. It was like a Japanese engineered thing, and he brought it to the West. So he's a big super guy. Anyways, there was a hailstorm they had in Holland, and in 3 minutes he almost lost his business. The glass busted all over the place, because the hailstones or hail balls, they were the size of, what do they call it, a golf ball size, golf balls. They came down like golf balls. He almost lost his whole business. So imagine, this came down, and it seemed like people were protected in time by Krishna, who lifted this hill. And it went on for a whole week. A whole week. Can you imagine? A whole week of no electricity, but definitely running water. And so they felt protected. There are some beautiful stories mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion, how Krishna was had his finger up like this, and he was looking at the gopis, and he shook his hand, shook a little bit, and Balaram knew exactly what was going on. And people were going, oh, they thought he was going to lose it, Balaram says, I know what's going on here. Yes, so this is, and Yashoda, she's saying, she wasn't believing in the beginning. Oh, Krishna didn't lift that hill. He's not holding that hill up there. It's Nanda maybe. Nanda's a strong man. He may be holding it, but not Krishna. No way, not Krishna. These are some of the interesting tales that go along with it. And somebody, was suggesting he might need a massage, in the one hand, so shifted over to the other one. Beautiful story, and then of course it came down smoothly, and everyone was protected from the flash flood that Indra created. Now, Indra was a puffed up man, and still is. Of all the gods, he seems to be the one that's quite jealous, and he seems to be the one that's quite sensuous, to be honest with you. And but he took a humble position. He actually took a humble position, and when he saw that Krishna outsmarted him, he accused him, talkative little kid down there, Now he's not talking like that anymore. But I think he deserves my respect, A little thing that came on the Instagram just yesterday. Does anybody know Francis of Assisi? Francis of Assisi. He would communicate with the animals, and people worldwide respect him so much. Anyways, in 1970, a beautiful film came out, Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon. And he went to the Pope, and this is accurate, he went to the Pope at the time, and he came with his followers, and they came barefoot into this prestigious, like Roman mansion, and the Pope came down from his throne, steps down, and he went to Francis, and he was so moved by his humility because he was a real deal. He was the real monk, humble. And he was talking about, consider the lilies of the fields. They do not pray. God provides them. He provides them with the water that's needed. So anyways, the Pope was so moved by him, he came down to the floor. And it's kind of an Italian thing, but he kissed the feet of Francis of Assisi, who's like a humble monk, and people are going, oh, how would he do this? So I'm just bringing this up because Indra, he took a humble position. And just like Brahma did, when the last story that Prabhupada translated from the Bhagavatam before he passed away was about Brahma stealing the cows and the calves, and Brahma got outsmarted. He got out-mystified. So that's what we learn from this particular story, this particular pastime. Don't mess with Krishna. That's really what we're supposed to learn from this. And so up to this day, we worship Govardhan Hill, which saves the devotees. And it was Krishna who did the saving, and he'll continue to save us. So we worship, we worship the plant today. We worship some stone today. They're called deities, marble deities. We will also be worshiping, we'll worship Prasadam very soon, by honoring it. And a plant. And so we get a chance to remember Krishna at this time in the form of a hill. That is God in the form of a hill. There's many more things that we like to say, but I think we have to look at the time factor, right? Because 8:20. So I'm very much liking Vishaka and her crew who like to be on time. She reminded me, Maharaj, it's 7:30. We have to go. Okay. So for the class. Prabhus, there are lots of hills. There's lots of mountains out there. At Cape Town, they have this real famous, flat mountain there. And I guess we have our, hills and mountains that are very, special, sacred to people. But all over the world, people come to Govardhan Hill So let's worship it very nicely. And so Jai Shri Shri Radha Giridhari Ki Jai. Okay, any questions or comments? Mhm.
I was just thinking, isn't it a bit similar? I think the Abrahamic religions have their injunction against idol worship, but in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says that, those who worship the devatas are worshiping in the wrong way.
Mhm.
So don't you think it seems like a pretty similar principle to me, though Christians kind of take it to a very extreme sense nowadays.
Mhm. Yes, they definitely do, and there's a history of people coming, like invaders into India and coming into temples, breaking down the temples, breaking down Krishna deities, crushing it down to stone, then making it for a new mosque, the steps. We know there's a very ugly history there. We call them iconoclasts, those who come and destroy deities. So what to say about that? Yeah, Krishna's telling us, if you're going to worship, put your reverences in the right direction. Don't just worship any old thing, but where it's clearly, by Shastric approved by the scriptures, that we should honor that. We should worship, right? I mean, let's put in one sense, everything is God, God's energy. Prabhupada said, he made it very clear, on a higher principle, Krishna is everywhere. Everything's God. That's true. But then we get a little specific, and that is a particular deity before the prana pratishta, which is the, establishing the deity in the temple. It's already worshipable. But when the priests come in and they invite the Lord, invoke the Lord to come inside, then it's very special, So it's a matter of maturity, a matter of seeing that, God is everywhere, so worship. But when it's clearly defined that in some specific areas, do take a little extra time to honor God. We're supposed to be worshiping each other too, by the way, not worshiping the demigods. We can worship because God is in their heart, and from that point of view, we can worship them. So, but Krishna does get specific. Let us apply the philosophy Achincha Bheda Bheda Tattva, which means everything is one, but also different at the same time. So we take a wide brush, we say it's all the same, but we also get a little meticulous at the same time. Perfect philosophy. Anybody else? Yes.
You were talking about a curse that there were waterfalls, and now there are some curses too. Could you tell us more about that?
No, I don't know the story very well. I've heard different versions of it, and I didn't hear it from Prabhupada, so I'm not going to say it. But if you want to, go by some kind of folklore, fine. But I don't. I don't take those things too seriously. I'm more a man of dharma. What's right? What's proper? Therefore, I can't tell you. But apparently, the hill is shrinking in size. It's wearing down, and so I'd say, before it's flat, go to see Govardhan Hill before you don't even know where it is, where to go. Yeah, but there's, we have all these interesting tales and stories about curses and so on like that. But let's put it this way, in Kali Yuga, it is mentioned that Kali Yuga, things get diminished. Like even Vrindavan itself has lost a lot of its sanctity, it's a lot of green space. You understand what I'm saying? Overdevelopment, devil up. People devil up in Kali Yuga, and even some of our devotees have actually taken some of the Ramanriti area where God's sandbox is there. He plays in the sand, Krishna and Balaram, and devotees have bought land there for their nice little house. Nice, not little house, sometimes big house. So, in my opinion, it's aparad. Total aparad. And Vrindavan was a nice green place when Guru Das and Yamuna and all that went first, to try to establish something there for the Krishna Balaram Mandir. It was a lot more green. And there have been attempts made to make it green again, plant trees. And that's an honorable thing, but you have to be, intelligent. You're going to plant a tree and you put, a sort of like a protective grate around it. Then you have to maintain it. You have to keep watering it. You can't just say, we did our job. You have to, Brahma can say, I did it, but it's Vishnu comes and maintains. So, these are, you can certainly look up if you want to, the curse of Govardhan Hill and find out, you can enlighten us, but it's definitely the scenario that was quite consistent with holy places in India and all that. Like the Gangas got very polluted. There's raw sewage goes in there, right? So that's a big offense, is it not?
Yeah.
People now go into the Ganga and the Yamuna and they soap up. It just irritates me to no end. I go, nay, 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 soap, nay, nay, and they just add stupid, There's some people who did that from India in one of our rivers here. I think it was the Rouge River, and people soaped up, and this was videoed and filmed. And, soap, like raw soap, right in our water, a clean running water, And have you ever seen the Credit River? It's super clean. It's wonderful. So you imagine people go with those bad habits, and they try to incorporate that here. You're going to get a black eye, from people. Get a bad, bad reputation for doing those kind of heinous activities. So we should not offend the holy Dham. We should not commit aparad. We have to be really careful about it. And any efforts made to clean up the stuff. Vrindavan is full of sewage, raw sewage. It stinks. Stinks. And we can look at the descriptions here and then compare it to what Vrindavan is now. It's really bad news. And as Vaishnavas, we should be hurtful that this is going on, Plastic garbage everywhere. It's horrible. It's not horrible. It's horrible. Okay, so anyways, that's my, my take on what's happening with the Holy Dham. You might go there and see. One of our brahmacharis from the Krishna house who stayed with us for a few days, I forget his name.
Priya, Sahadev?
No.
Bruce?
Who?
Bruce?
No,
Bruce?
not Bruce.
Arjuna, Drishta? Sahadev?
No,
Kartikeya?
that's him. Yeah, we took, everybody knows Krishna Kala, right? He took his father's ashes into the Yamuna, and the priest helped us with that. And then I remember Kartikeya. Yeah, he was looking at Maharaj and trying to figure out how this is a sacred river, because it wasn't very clean. So let's put it this way. Everyone's clean. Everyone's got a clean soul. But there's some pile-up according to the Shikshastakam. There's a pile-up of crap from many lives. So we have to clear it away by chanting. I personally feel that puja is good. It's good to have puja in the Holy Dham, but it's also, I think, the optimum puja is to clean up the place. I wish we could be more active on it. It breaks my heart to see it, to smell. It breaks my heart. to see the neglect. You can say, Hare Krishna Prabhu, Radhe Radhe, you know, but look around. What are we going to do about it? So sorry, Parus, to shake up your dreams a little bit and make it all, you know, destroy your, you know, your fantasy ideas about the Holy Dham. There are beautiful temples there. There are beautiful people that go there, and that cannot be denied. But we can do better, right? Peruse, thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for tolerating me. Here is well, you're regular, so. And who else is new here? Okay.
She's